when I have a client, portals open up for me, and I control because I have to be able to shut doors, because I'm not someone that's walking around reading people. It's none of my business. If they come to me as a client, absolutely. So when I time travel into different dimensions, I'm literally pulled up through my crown chakra. And so it's like a part of me is leaving my body, because when I come back, and I can feel quite unwell, like I can feel like I want to vomit when I'm in this process. So I literally see myself time traveling, and then I will arrive. And my clients will always see me because I'll be looking everywhere, like almost like, just distracted, because my whole environment changes to where I've ended up. And then I'll start being shown who's received me in this dimension. And it's 99.9% of the time a version of you. And so I'll look to see, okay, what gender you are, where am I? And most of the time, that version of my client is expecting me, and they'll say to me, oh my God, we're so happy to see you from the future because we're stuck up here. Like, we need to get rid of this. And I'm like, okay. And then they will lead me. They will lead me in through the woods. They will lead me into their homes to witness domestic violence. They will lead me into the orphanage where they're experiencing physical trauma. They will lead me down a path to tell me the story of their soul. And when I experience it, and this is why I can't see a lot of clients, because I have a lot of, I don't know whether you've had your human design done, Amrit, but what are you?
Manifester, touch wood.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I'm a generator. I have a lot of empty centers. And so it's a great thing, but it's also, I take on everybody's stuff when I work. So it takes me sometimes weeks, days, months. So when I go up there, I'm literally, my whole environment changes from wherever I'm sitting and working in my house, which is usually my dining table. And I will be in the Amazon. I will be in Egypt. I'll be on a boat in Iceland. And then because I get to travel like this, and I'm like, sure, this is really interesting. Like, I didn't even know this was going on in 1201 in Iceland. And then when I go and research, I'm like, oh my God, it actually was going on at that time. So for me, it's like, I am a character in the movie, but as me, because I'm a person with a personality and I'm experiencing somebody else's lifetime as me, so that I can come back into my body and go, this is the problem. Like, one of the things I'm really good at with my work is, because I don't get any information from a client, I can pinpoint what the issue is real fast. And most of the time, the client will agree. Those who are still in a bit of denial will be like, oh, that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Doesn't matter what we want to talk about. I don't even know. I am just purely guided. And when we're purely guided, that is when the magic happens, Amrit. Magic happens when we are just, like, you're in Melbourne. I've actually just come back from Uluru. Wow. And I was guided there. 7th of September. I remember that I go into meditation, never even thought about Uluru, didn't even consider it. And this relates to what you're saying, what you're asking me about how I see things. I went into my meditation for me, and I meditate on my bed because I don't know, that's just where I meditate. And 7th of September, sorry. And this was about maybe 7 p.m. at night, and never mentioned Uluru, never thought about it, not bucket list, nothing. I go into my meditation, and I heard spirit, Aboriginal ancestors say to me, never thought about them, you need to come to Uluru. And I was like, okay. And I could see myself there. I didn't know anything about Uluru. I finish my meditation, and I walk out to my partner, and I say to him, is it okay if I go to Uluru for a while? And he's like, yeah. He's like, what's Uluru? He said, is that Ayers Rock? I said, yeah, I think it is. So anyway, I go online, and I'm like, I'm not going to just show up at Uluru. There's someone that's going to guide me. Within an hour, I am booked on a retreat, meditation retreat, everything. A few hours later, my beloved grandmother dies. And I realized that I am now undoing karma for her and all the women that have lost their children in Uluru. And so I go to Uluru, and on the first night, I hear my grandmother wailing in the wind. So for me, it's visceral, it's physical, it's everything. And it's amazing because I never expected to go to Uluru, but I was led there. And my grandmother was there, and all the other grandmothers whose children were taken away from them were there. And my job as a healer, that those few days I was there for the 11:11 portal, and the sound that was coming out of Uluru, I recorded it and put it on my app for my clients because it was like we could hear the clapsticks. Like, I've been drinking cacao sitting here with you because we are in ceremony together for all of those people who have drawn to you to watch this, because we all have the power to change this karma, not for ourselves, but even for the ancestors that are not even of our ethnic imprint. And so when I experience fully, wholly, in every single way that moves my client to the core. And so it's very hard for me to explain, but I am guided to the most magical things because I am led, and we can all be led. I am control freak number one, Amrit. I am control freak, like, I need to know this now. I need to be super organized. But over the years, I have really just stepped back and thought, well, what would happen if I was just guided? And I was just guided to everywhere I need to go because, they gave me this work. Great. It's a wonderful gift. I get to help lots of people. All this magical stuff happens to me, and it happens to me with such flow, grace, and ease. Like, I've just had my 42nd birthday, and the words that Spirit said to me is that you're going to step into a majestic version of yourself. I go to the hairdresser that same day, and my hairdresser, who's a healer, but a hairdresser, Gaia, it's just like you're giving majestic vibes. And I was like, thank you for validating that for me, because that is what they told me. People will give you the information without you even needing to ask, because you are being guided to the right people at the right time. So you can have these magical experiences for yourself. You just have to relinquish control. And you have to just go, show me, guide me, teach me, make it all link. I'm not special, Amrit. I am just being myself. That is all.
Just really hard to ask a question, just given growing up in Australia, just recognizing the impact of the stolen generations and just how people could do that to people.
And those mothers and the grandmothers, they are all still walking Uluru and Katajuta, trying to reunite with their babies in spirit. Just because most people can't see, Amrit, I could see. I could feel the children holding my hands and asking me to walk them to their mothers again. That reunion is happening for all of us in spirit and physical. You and I are reuniting. Last night in my meditation, I saw the two of us in a cave in India. And I was thinking, he's come to me for lessons before. When I was a man, we were both men. And here we are in our own cave of ceremony, learning again from one another. Like, I didn't even know you were in Australia or Australian, Amrit. I'm showing up today because I don't like to know too much. I just want to show up and see what comes out of my mouth. And I just literally got back from Uluru. What are the odds?
Yeah, totally trippy. Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.